Hey everyone, it's Dylan from the Black Forest Wood Company. We're back again for another week here in the shop. This week we're showing you guys another cabinet build. So this one's a little different. It's actually a dining room cabinet this time instead of a liquor cabinet. It's all solid figured maple with our tinted resin, and then we've got a solid maple carcass on it. Right now we're actually getting everything packed up, and Charlie's just doing final quality control inspection. He's making sure everything looks good for the client. You guys can see we've got everything lined with foam right now, so a little different than the video you just saw. This is just to protect it during shipment. And then we've got all the crates we're gonna get it loaded into, and this thing's heading all the way down to New York City. So again, a lot of effort went into this build, a lot of effort went into this video, so it would mean the world to us if you guys can just drop a like, leave a comment, let us know what you think. Because we had a lot of fun doing this. John just finished these pieces up. This is for the cabinet, so we're going a little bit thinner, and it's all getting kind of this like transparent resin. It's the Color Effects black. Right here, we're just gluing up the back of the cabinet. We're using biscuits. They're not so much for strength, but more so for alignment. Since we're only using, I think it's 4/4 or 6/4 material here, we don't have that much room to lose. So those biscuits just make sure that when we put it through the sander, everything's gonna be nice and flush.
Being my best friend. It says nothing.
Yeah, you and your best friend.
You're my best friend too, Joe.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you.
Sit back. Affirmative, sir. Yeah. Yeah, sir. Okay, I love you, Daddy.
So now what John is using here is our big triple drum sander. So it actually, what you can't see is there's 3 drums inside there, and it goes through 3 grits in a single pass. So right here we've got 120, 150, 180. So it's going in unsanded, coming out sanded to 180. And then we just have to do our hand sanding. One thing I will mention, even though this sander sands to 180, I would still recommend starting your hand sanding at 150 because drum sanders are usually a lot more aggressive. Now what we're doing is applying the stain on here. So this isn't actually the finish coat that's going to protect it. This is just the stain to give the maple a nice dark color. Our client didn't want this left natural because it would be too close to the color of the doors, so we're just putting this black stain on. Here we actually forgot to put a bevel on before we put the slide out trays together, so what you see here is us doing it by hand. Something else kind of interesting about our cabinet construction is there's actually no glue used in the joinery to assemble the carcass. So we do have sliding dovetails, but everything just is such a tight fit that we don't need to use any glue. All we do is assemble everything, put 2 screws in the outside, and then plug up those holes, and it works very, very well. What we're doing now is cutting up that piece that you saw us pour at the beginning. So this is going to be the front of the cabinet, and these cuts have to be perfect because if we're even off by a little bit, it's going to ruin the whole alignment. Now John is putting in the sauce hinges. So he's got this really kind of neat jig that he's built up here, and it just allows us to put the router on the doors and the side of the cabinet and have everything line up perfectly. This is the finishing process for the doors. So we do have a video that explains our full finishing process, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but essentially we go 1101 first, that's the extra thin, followed by Pollux, and then finished off with ceramic. So this is the big reveal here. We've got the doors finished, we've got everything machined for the hinges, and we're putting the doors on in the finished state for the first time. It's always kind of a big exciting moment for us in the shop because there's probably about 100+ hours that go into one of these cabinets. So to even get to this point is a lot of effort. Done our most recent cabinet. This one is figured maple on the front with the tinted resin, and then the interior is also maple. The whole carcass is solid maple. No veneer used on here. We've got the mirror in the back, as you guys can see. We have got the sauce hinges on there as well, looking really good. This one's also a little different in that it's not a liquor cabinet for once. This is actually a dining room cabinet. So all of our clients, nice dishes, china and crystal are gonna go in here. And it's actually headed to New York City. So we'll get this thing shipped out this week. And then this client's really good about sending photos. So hopefully we'll get some photos of this thing in place. Well, we're just about done getting the cabinet packed up. It is actually in two pieces, as you guys saw. So we're gonna take the top off. The top is going to go in this crate right here. So we've also got the shelves in the bottom. That's what you see stacked in there. And then the guys over there, they've got the second crate. That's just gonna be for the bottom of the cabinet. So we'll get everything packed up, and then it'll probably be 3 or 4 days, and it'll be in New York City. This client usually sends photos too, so if we do get photos, we'll make sure to include them in next week's video. Charlie doesn't come with the cabinet, unfortunately.